International concern is mounting over Afghanistan. G7 leaders are set to meet virtually in the coming hours. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had called for talks, urging governments to find ways to prevent the situation from worsening. Benji Haya joins us live now from London. Benji, US President Joe Biden, he's under pressure to seek more time for these evacuations.
That's right. Not just the UK, but also France and Germany expected to pile that pressure on the US president in that virtual G7 meeting in a couple of hours, officially hosted by Boris Johnson here in London, given that the UK holds the presidency to the G7 this year. And it's all about trying to make sure, or trying to encourage the United States to extend that deadline to withdraw US troops beyond August 31st, a deadline that so far Joe Biden has said that he will keep to. But other countries, allies of the United States, are urging him to try to reconsider. And the reason for that is they want to create an environment around Kabul airport where people can still safely evacuate. Currently, that airport is sort of being governed by the armed forces of Western countries. If the United States withdraws, then effectively the fear is the Taliban could take over, those evacuations could stop. But before the world gets itself in a tizzy expecting some sort of U-turn from the US administration, it's worth saying that any sort of delay, extension, whatever you want to call it, is unlikely. And that's because the Taliban have effectively said that they would not allow it to happen, that this would be a breach of that agreement that was signed, and that August 31st is the date that US forces would have to leave. And as for continuing without the United States, as for the UK or France or Germany, for example, and other NATO forces staying instead, the Defence Secretary in Britain, Ben Wallace, has said that that simply is not a feasible idea. So the reality, as we expect it, is that the meeting will take place, but that date of August 31st will remain. And Boris Johnson and Joe Biden did have a call on Monday evening where this was discussed, but in the readout that was put out afterwards, there was no mention of that date, no mention of an extension. Instead, the priorities were about creating a safe environment after the withdrawal and safeguarding the progress made. So as much as countries like the UK will try to press Joe Biden and the US administration into some sort of extension, we're expecting those calls to go unheard.
All right, thank you for that update, Benji. Benji Haya there in London.